And that's where the magic is.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Oh, thank God. Welcome to the last episode of A Non-Alcoholic Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And we've been sober for a month now?
4 episodes. Well, Brian has. I drink outside of this, and so I can't necessarily.
Time is a weird thing. It's been almost 6 weeks.
Oh.
It's like being on a deserted island.
And all you have is just these pretend beers.
I have a friend that's a coconut, and I don't even know if this is real right now.
I could have a friend that's a volleyball.
I didn't have a ball, I just had a coconut.
Okay.
Bummer.
I'm sorry, Wilson.
That's what happens. Lose your marbles.
All right. Last one on the agenda for us. Non-alcoholic brew Wellbeing Intentional IPA from O'Fallon Brewing in Maryland Heights, Missouri. Maryland Heights, Missouri.
That's
way
where
too
it's at.
close to St. Louis for me.
Oh boy.
I told you I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good.
Okay.
Let's give this beer a shot.
Yeah, it's technically not from St. Louis.
It's technically not. It's really close.
Take a big smell of this beer.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not going to tell you what you're supposed to smell, but I smelled it right away.
You.
See if you get it.
No, I don't know. Pine Sol?
Close.
I don't know.
Got one of the words correct.
Pine?
Pineapple
Apple.
Oh. Okay.
is the aroma you're supposed to get, and I definitely get it.
Oh, yep. Now that I know what I'm trying to smell.
Son of a bitch, this beer's good. Really?
Did you try it?
Yes.
Mosaic and Citra hops.
Oh my gosh.
Pineapple and peach should either hit your nose or your tongue. Intentional IPA. Now, we talked about, just real quick, about O'Fallon. O'Fallon is the place where this was contract brewed
Correct.
and canned.
Yep.
But the recipe and the whole thing is some other dude,
Yep.
Jeff Stevens.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, real quick, $10.99 a 4-pack. You can buy it on the internet. I bought it at the store. This is one of those, even a couple years ago, the last time I did some NA stuff, this was one of the only ones I could find. This brewery, I had this beer, I think, once before, but I grabbed it this time. The label's really cool. I really like that design. They had some merchandise, unlike some of the other NA ones we've talked about.
Right.
They had 2 shirts that I wrote down because they were great. Dry Curious. So, take on something. So that's one of their shirts. It just said Dry Curious.
Okay.
And the other one said Sexy Loves Sober. Now, I don't know if that's true because I am that right now. I've not had any encounters with anyone that would say, hey, you were sober, let's, whatever. But
Right.
So that one I'm not sure about. But Dry Curious I thought was kind of funny.
I like it.
They have other beers. We've either had or talked about their dark amber beer.
Okay.
Maybe we did that, like one of the very first runs of this
possibly.
episode. Kind of had a yellowish orange skull, and his mouth was open. The can looked similar, but it was a 12-ounce can. I had one of those at a concert last week when I left my house.
Really?
And it was weird because I was there, and I was obviously looking for something NA, and that was what they had. And they also had the Budweiser 0.0. And I noticed a lot of people asking for NA beers, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not alone."
Yeah.
I feel like I'm alone, but
A lot of people do give it up for Lent, right?
I
mean,
think
that's
that
a
must have
thing.
been what it was
Yeah.
because they were mostly older women, but that's fine.
Whatever.
I stood right there and ordered it with them. It was great.
I saw you checked in the Budweiser
Yeah,
0.0.
it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
They have a golden wheat beer and they have a victory wheat that has electrolytes. They're labeled their sports brew.
Oh.
So if you worked out or whatever and you need some electrolytes,
Okay.
you can have one of those beers. Jeff Stevens. You know about him?
I do. A little bit.
So I'll let you talk about him, but I just was going to say, from what I could find, he was like, I don't know if he was an ad guy or marketing dude. His accounts were all like beer and wine and spirits, and he learned early on that wasn't great for him. So he wanted some NA sort of options so he could still be social because he liked to go out and do stuff. Just found out that everything that was out there, maybe like, I don't know, O'Doul's. Yeah. I'm not saying. I haven't. Sharps. That's pretty much what the market was.
That was the market.
And those aren't great. And he's like, man, I want something good. So this is where the idea came from. So
interesting.
That's what I know on him.
A lot on O'Fallon, but I really want to. It's the back of their can has a ton of information.
Okay.
A proudly non-alcoholic malt beverage, 97 calories. So the calorie count on this one's the highest out of the four that we've done.
But it's also the most volume in the can. We've only had 12 ounce.
Yeah, true.
Bottles,
right.
I guess.
But it does have 3 grams of protein, which is
even more
than what you see. I don't know why that's important to me, but award-winning craft brews with the alcohol gently removed. We use the latest in brewing technology to ever so gently remove the alcohol from our fully finished craft brews. When we're finished, you'll have a true-to-taste brew that is non-alcoholically delicious. Delicious. Hashtag raise well-being.
So I know how they do it.
On this one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. How do they do
I
this
did some research.
All right.
Because, we talked earlier about you basically either you don't let the alcohol be created at the beginning or you just boil it off at the end.
Right.
These guys make a normal beer and then they slowly push it through a vacuum that lowers the temperature of the beer over time.
Right.
And it takes a lot longer than just boiling it off, but that's why the mouthfeel is there. That's why it looks like a beer. It's got lacing in the glass. So some of those things you don't probably get with some of the past episodes we've done.
Right.
But it's this technique that they use, and I would assume it's probably similar to the hazy IPA we did, Athletic. It's probably how they kind of do it. The smaller places seem to be able to maybe do this because it takes a little bit longer, but there's some big vacuum system. I saw a picture of it online.
So what happens to the alcohol then? It just dissipates?
It just kind of is pushed out, I guess, is the best term I could use.
Okay.
Displaced. But by doing it slowly and gradually, the aromas and the flavor, I guess, is still left behind.
Maintain.
Yeah. So that's the difference on these guys.
The flavor on this is off the charts good. The pineapple comes through really, really nice. I mean, it tastes like an IPA. I mean, and I have said recently multiple times, I'm just kind of IPA'd out. Like I'm done with IPAs for a bit. This is great. This is
pretty tasty. I mean, I was happy to find 2 IPAs this year that were NA. Actually, I found 3.
Yeah, I'm on my second pour, so.
I have a feeling if we revisit this again next year, if you decide to do the same thing next year, then the options will be even more plentiful. We'll find more of them.
Yeah, I think that seems to be what the market is indicating.
You want to talk about O'Fallon a little bit? Where they brew at?
Let me hit just a couple more things on these guys specifically real first. Their mantras, they had these on their website, mantras. Raise well-being, mind, body, and spirit. Healthier, and handwriting is bad, so whatever that says. You're much more present, and you're much more aware, and you're having much more fun. Non-alcoholically. So
I don't know, I'm funny when I get drunk.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah.
Another one they had, bring social to sobriety. So
okay, yeah.
I guess that's a big thing. It's one of the reasons this guy was even interested in making it. Shattering the age-old story of drinking to have fun, which is kind of my MO.
Yeah.
So,
is that wrong?
I don't know if it's wrong. I can't answer.
Some people can handle it better than others.
Okay,
How about
you got
that?
a point there. Yeah.
Maybe it's more like having fun. A marathon versus a little, foot race sprint.
Yeah,
maybe that's it.
Okay.
I don't know. These were one of those guys that kind of were like, we know we're not probably going to be everybody's all the time beer, but maybe we're your third beer, or every other one, try this instead and see how that goes, that sort of thing.
Well, if you're okay, so this I just recently experienced this because I was the national championship game, the March Madness just ended a few weeks back. Steve and I ended up at a bar that night earlier than we anticipated, so we did the rotation. You have one beer and then you have one water, and then one beer and then one water.
Sure.
If I could do one beer and then one NA like this, and one beer and then one NA like this, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Because it made me sad when I had to go to the water.
It is sad.
I mean, it was good. It was fine.
The water is important, but it doesn't taste as good as
It's not.
alcoholic beers.
No.
And this NA beer. Here's the market projections, 2024. This will become a $7 billion industry.
NA beers.
NA beers.
Thank you, millennials.
2017, in Europe, there was basically Heineken and Guinness, and that's where the NA market started growing. And it grew while overall beer markets shrank. So actual alcoholic beer went down, and NA beers actually went up.
Interesting.
Sales now they weren't even close to each other, but that was the only place there was any growth back then. Great American Beer Festival brought back the NA category recently after 15 years of it not being there.
I didn't even know they had that.
So they had it before, then it went away for a long time, and now it's back. So I'm guessing it's an indicator that people are doing this. One of the beers that they make, that Heavenly Body Golden Wheat Beer, I think I said was that the sports beer? Let me check my paper. No, it's just one of their wheat beers that they have. It's like I think it was their first beer they made. Was based on a beer that won the gold medal at GABF, and then they did that. The beer, this one, is named to inspire change at the beginning of the year. So they know a lot of people give up, beer after New Year's or whatever. So they named it that on purpose. So intentional. You're choosing this on purpose to help your well-being.
I'll tell you, the can art looks like a Tool album, quite honestly.
It does.
There's a very very Tool album looking vibe.
It doesn't have one on there, but it reminds me of a peacock for some reason. I don't know why.
I can get that with the blue and the eyes and
or feathers even. I don't know.
Maybe.
These guys have something called a brand alchemist.
Okay.
And his job is to go to breweries and bars and arenas or whatever and be like, this is why you guys need NA beer. So he's selling the idea and the lifestyle more than just the product, which I think that would be a tough sell.
It'd be a fun sell, though, wouldn't it?
You'd have to be good. And I guess the guy that does it used to be like a bartender down in that area. He was like a famous St. Louis bartender. And he was just kind of like burned out of bars.
Yeah.
And got this job because he had all these connections and he knew what he was talking about. And then the last thing, here it is. The quote from the guy. He said, "We want to become your Tuesday night beer or your third beer."
Okay.
So that was their idea. They're not trying to take over the world. They just want to,
They just want a place on the shelf.
Yeah.
Your
and
shelf.
The other thing was there were a lot of skeptics, and still were, probably still to this day, about these guys and other places being at like beer festivals. So like, you're going out to a beer fest and there's a table of all NA beers.
Of
and
NAs.
They used to think like people would laugh at them and be like, why are you guys even here? And now they're like, people are actually excited to come and try their stuff. So
Right.
I don't know. Mindsets are changing.
I guess it's just that drink what you want, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like when there are Facebook groups that I, with beer and that I follow and stuff, and they're always ripping on IPAs all the time, or whatever. And like, just who cares? Drink what you want. What does it matter?
That's yeah. I mean, that's what we do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I have for us on that stuff. So you got any O'Fallon information?
I
We can
do.
definitely
You know
get into
what?
that.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna abbreviate this just a little
Okay.
bit because I've never necessarily, I haven't been a fan of O'Fallon in the past.
Okay.
Never really found a beer that I liked from them. I know they're just contract brewing this beer, so the fact that they just contract brewed this beer there or whatever has nothing to do with O'Fallon necessarily, but everything I read about them and the research that I did on them was just not awesome. It was just not awesome.
It reminded me of the Estes Park Brewery. I don't know why, but just one that's been there like since the late 90s maybe. And
Estes Park Brewing
that's
Company.
been the same
Yep.
ever since. And it's just a place you go and have food and beer. And
Yeah.
that's what it looked like to me.
They have good pizza at Estes Park Brewing Company. I mean,
Yeah.
they do, but it's just not. Nah.
Yeah.
There's better choices.
Sure.
And I know there's way better choices in St. Louis, too. So I didn't... There was one part in particular. So 2011, the people that... Fran and Tony Caradonna, who started O'Fallon back in 2000, sold to a former Anheuser-Busch employee, Jim Gorczzyca. Don't know.
Corsica?
Maybe? Sure. Anyway, one, yeah. So you sold 11 years after you opened, and that's including when you won a medal at the Great American Beer Festival in 2004. So 4 years after you opened, you won a medal on a smoked porter. So something that really wasn't easy to do, probably.
Yeah.
You won a medal. Your brewery its motto is "We love beer!" ! But then, 11 years after you opened, you sold to to a former Budweiser employee, and this is an actual quote, and this is the one I struggled with a little bit. The Caradonnas are on record saying they experienced several difficult years with flat sales and the inability to expand capacity, resulting in significant financial losses and leading to the sale of the brewery. The Caradonnas had been looking for an investor to buy a stake in their business. My commentary aside,
Yeah.
I don't know, make better beers. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, you're competing with the evil empire right there.
Well,
I get it. It's probably not easy.
It doesn't sound good.
No.
Like if I heard that, I would be like, man, I don't want to get involved with this.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you look at something like this at Wellbeing,
Yeah.
who's contract brewing there, and an NE beer no less, and this is a great IPA. This is really, really good.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't. I don't understand where the disconnect
guess
was.
it's all about recipes, right? And
Maybe.
this guy had his and didn't have a place to make it, and was from that area,
Right.
And that's just how it worked out.
Sometimes you're not meant to be in the industry that you're in, right? I mean, there are
Yeah.
you or maybe that's the case with them. I don't know. Maybe they weren't meant to own a brewery.
Yeah,
Maybe they're very successful doing something else.
Could be.
Now I have no idea. So
I know I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either.
All the profits would be with me, drinking all
Just
the beers.
drink it.
And then hit the taps and just be like, oh, whoops.
See, but
Didn't make it.
anybody that goes and tries to do it on their own, I'll never ever fault them for that, right? I mean, if they
Yeah.
do it the right way, go do it the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, the history is littered with companies that try to do it the wrong way or cheat or steal or whatever, and eventually it catches up to
Yeah.
you, right? But if you get out there, you try to do it the right way, and you do what you love, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you fail, then you try something else. Right?
Sure.
You do something else. So I like the direction of the brewery now, even though I necessarily haven't found a beer that I like there. This NA beer is something I would definitely have. It'd be my Tuesday beer.
They make-
I'd have it on my shelf.
O'Fallon makes my sister's favorite summer beer of all time.
That
Weech.
Weech.
Yep, she loves that thing. So I've been having their beers for a long time.
Yeah.
I used to go to Council Bluffs to buy their beer because couldn't get it here.
You can get it.
I
here
think there's
now?
some O'Fallon beers that we do get. Yes.
Okay. I was just in Kansas City a couple of weeks back, and we stopped in a Hy-Vee just because I had to charge my car, and there was a Tesla charger out front of the Hy-Vee. So we walked around in Hy-Vee for a minute, and they had a giant section of O'Fallon. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm in Missouri. I understand where I'm
Yeah.
at. So
Yep.
it looked like one of our Hy-Vees, which is really weird, but then the beer section was completely different.
Yeah, it's nice, huh?
Wait, where's Zipline? Where's Cross-Strain? Where's...
None of those.
None of those. No, none of those here. So that is what I have on
Okay.
them.
Yeah, that's what I've got for us, guys.
Let's do this. I'm not going to do TripAdvisor,
Oh, okay.
even though they had 90 reviews, which I thought was interesting.
for O'Fallon?
For O'Fallon, 90 reviews. And you could get this on tap there. I did see this on the tap list.
Oh, okay.
At the restaurant.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen one on tap. I've never been to a beer bar or anything, I don't think, and saw NA beers on tap.
I can't say that I really have either.
Or even a keg.
Nope. They usually, I mean, if they do have any NA, it's Bush NA or Lagunitas hop water, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I looked for some of that, and I couldn't find it. And I know Lagunitas has an IPA that's out. That's
Yeah.
a NA that
the
I couldn't find.
IPNA, which is pretty good.
IP.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens.
That's funny.
All right, let's skip ahead to Untapped.
Okay.
We've got 2,100 check-ins for intentional IPA.
Have I checked this in?
You have not.
Okay. I didn't think I had
have
it
not.
before.
Oh.
I try not to look at Untapped on things I bring in here because I don't want to be tainted.
0.3% ABV, 30 IBUs is what it says. I think that's
How many check-ins?
2,100.
322.
2.12.
3.45.
That's the highest one, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a average score
Yeah.
for a regular
Normal beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Cheers to these guys.
I guess that just means they met their goal.
I guess.
Tastes good.
Yep.
No
I will,
alcohol.
I will buy it. The next time I'm at the store and I see it on the shelf, I will buy it. It will go
Well, you
on.
have to go in the cooler for this one.
That's okay.
They don't have them on the shelf, but it's in the cooler. at least.
Sometimes that's the magic of it's in the back, right? When do you have any more in the back?
Yeah.
And you can't go in the back,
Yeah.
but you can in the beer section.
Heck yeah, you
You can
can.
go back there, and that's where the magic is.
Yep. Usually, people like to hide things back there, and yeah. There's a whole community of people that will be at the store and drop. Oh, there was this thing came out. I put 3 of them in the cooler. And somebody else gets to get one.
Oh, that's the hiding place. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
good
cool
stuff.
like that.
It's good stuff.
All right. Well, we are done with NA beers. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
This was a hell of a way to end, though.
I think throughout all of them, they weren't terrible.
Nope.
Right?
No.
A couple of them were pretty good. They all tasted like beer, which is the main thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad or crying about the flavors.
Nope.
It's just,
How would you rank them? Which ones would you buy first if you had a choice of all 4?
Athletic for me, hands down. Number one, the hazy IPA.
I think I'm there too. That's my number 1.
Yeah. No. I think I would do this one.
Oh, okay.
I think I would buy
Intentional?
this one first.
Surprises me because this got 30 IBUs, which isn't a lot. But
No.
it has some West Coast characteristics, which I thought maybe you wouldn't like.
It gives me just enough of that bitterness that I like it. So, yeah.
Well, this one would be my number 2 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
So the
I'd go
IPAs.
Buckler.
Buckler, yeah.
Buckler and then Bitburger last. Bitburger that was fine. There wasn't anything wrong with it. It was just pretty normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
Which I guess is okay in the NA world, right?
I guess.
That's what you're looking
if
for.
that's what you're searching for, that flavor.
Probably better than Sharps.
Man, we
I haven't had one.
We
so
should do Coors, NA, Sharps, Budweiser.
Bush NA.
Oh, no, I had that. I intentionally did not bring that.
I had some Budweiser 0.0s, and those were pretty good.
I'm going to give my Bush NAs away because they're not.
I don't think anybody's going to take them.
No, you're probably right.
No.
Have a party, put them in the cooler.
fridge.
Put them in the cooler.
Put them in this back
Yep.
fridge.
Can you imagine somebody grab? Oh, man.
Next to the
You might need it in this hot summer day at the
Maybe.
pool. You might
Maybe.
need one of those.
next to the LaCroix back there in the break room. I'm sure someone will take
Somebody will grab it.
them. Somebody will grab it.
I'll bring them in. So, all right, fellas, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.